എല്ലാവർക്കും നല്ലാമേ നാം ഇതേറിയ ടോയ്സി പൂവണ്ണ നാടത്ത അമ്മനെ അയ്യമ്മട ಇಂದಿತ್ರ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಐತ್ ನಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿನುಂಡೆ ಇಕ್ಕಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಂಗೆ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಕ್ ಬಂದತ್ತೆ ಅಚೀವರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಂಗೆ ತಕ್ ಬಂದತ್ತೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ಸಿ ಬಟ್ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್ ஒரு டாபிக் ನಂಗೆ மறந்து போச்சிந்தாச்சு நங்கட கொடுகுக்கு கொடுவக்கு பின்ன ஸ்போர்ட்ஸுக்கு பாரி ஒரு க்ளோஸ் கனெக்ஷன் உண்டு ಕಾಲೋಡಿ ನಂಗಡ ಒಕ್ಕತ್ರದಾಡು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ರಾದು ಬೋರೆ ಬೋರೆ ಸಂಘ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಕರ ಬೋರೆ ಬೋರೆ ತರತ್ರ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ನಂಗೆ ನಡ್ತಿಯನುಂಡು ಇದನ್ನ കൊണ്ട് ನಂಗಡ ಕೊಡುವ ಮಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಯನುಂಡು ಈ ಕೊಡುವ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ನ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ನ ನಂಗೆ என்னென்ன இன்னொரு நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவலுக்கு எடுத்துட்டு போப்பனுக்கு என்னென்ன ಮಾಡನಾன்னு ಅನ್ನೋದಾಯ್ತು ಇಂದು ನಂಗಡ ಕೂಡ ஒரு ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕೂಡ ನಂಗೆ ஒரு ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಕಲ್ತಿತ್ತು ಸೊ ಇಂದತ್ರ ನಂಗಡ ಈ ತಕ್ಕ ಬಾಕನ ಬಲ್ಲಚಂಡ ದೀಪ್ತಿ ಬೋಪಯ್ಯ ಎಂಗಡ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡನ ಸೊ ದೀಪ್ತಿರು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ പിന്നെ കൊടുകക്കുളಂತಹ ಈ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ என்னென்ன ಉಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಂಡು ನಂಗಡ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ರೇಟ್ என்னென்ன ಉಂಡು ನಡೀತು ನಂಗೆ ಇಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಸೊ ನಿಂಗಡ ಎಲ್ಲಡ ಪರವಾಯ್ತು ನಾನು ಇಂದು ದೀಪ್ತಿ ಬೋಪಯ್ಯಂಗೆ ನಲ್ಲಾಮೆ ಬೈಂದವಿ ಅನ್ನನೆ ನಂಗಡ ಇಂದಿತ್ರ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಗೆ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡಿಯವಿ.
Thank you so much. Very happy to be here and talk about sport.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ದೀಪ್ತಿ. ಸೊ ದೀಪ್ತಿ ನಂಗಡ ಇಂದಿತ್ರ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಡೀಪ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಪೋಪ ಮುಂಚೆ ಮಿಂಜ ನಾನು ಜನರಲ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಪ್ಪಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಗೊತ್ತಿಪ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲತೀವಿಪ್ಪ ಸೊ ನಿಂಗಡ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿತಪ್ಪ ಕೈವಾ.
Sure. Nadapeda Ballachanda Deepthi Bopaiah and born and brought up in Bangalore only. Nanga Echiko years inja we've been going to coorg and thanks to our parents, grandparents, family, we've had the chance of always having sport in our life.
Yes.
I come from a very large family. Many people Kodagulu will know my uncle Ballachanda Ranji.
Okay.
Everywhere we go, we always introduce ourselves as Ballachanda Ranji's niece, and my dad is Darshan Bopaiah and my mother was from Chonira family and her name is Pranuti Bopaiah.
Okay.
Both of them are sports people. They are the ones who actually got us into sport, not played at a very high level but made sure sport is part of our life. And my sister is Shruthi Bopaiah and we are actually recording in her beautiful home. And my brother-in-law is a lawyer,
okay.
Kiran Narayan.
Uh-huh.
And very interestingly he's also doing a very important case for the Kodava community with he's assisting actually Dr. Subramaniam Swamy on the case which is actually helping Kodavas find their cultural and geopolitical identity.
Okay.
So it's very important
on the Western Ghats part
on Kodagu as a region as well.
Okay.
Just trying to, because there's so much happening in Coorg, so many people coming in, how do we protect our own identity along with the growth? So I think it's a very interesting case. So luckily his legal experience is coming to help
nice.
Our community as well.
Okay.
Growing up, for us, Nangak always, even in school, we had the privilege of having sport. Exactly. Even in school, studied in Baldwin Girls High School, and we had a swimming pool and it was almost mandatory for everyone to learn swimming, and we had a really big field. Today when you look at some of the schools, you feel
you don't
like
find the ground,
you don't find a ground, you don't find kids playing, you don't find, and we did mostly only that. And even after coming back from school we used to play, and even on weekends we used to play,
and we used to finish our lunch also early just to go and
play, right? And we used to hate when that math teacher or some other teacher takes our
PT
period and goes away. So I think sport has very much been part of anything that I can remember. So I played tennis
nice.
up to the state level, and I played basketball because mummy was very particular. She is a hockey player herself. Mm-hmm. And a mountaineer. Oh. So yeah, very cool. At that time she actually climbed a few peaks from when she was in college and school.
Okay.
So she always felt a team sport is very important for my sister and me, and you should, that's how you learn life lessons. And dad is crazy about tennis.
Oh, nice.
So invariably we played tennis, and in fact mummy learned tennis after I was born. Oh. And even today, every day in the morning, they both play in the club.
Oh, very nice.
So my sister and I have no excuse ki nang time ille, idille, adille, because we have these role
When they
models at
adapt
home.
this sports, no,
Yeah,
discipline also will follow you.
absolutely, absolutely. I think a lot of what we've done and who I am today, a huge credit to sport.
Exactly.
To be able to navigate so many different things in life, to be able to make plans, to organize, to be confident, to become a leader. I think, and naturally, if you see, because as a community we play so much of sport, all our people have that confidence.
Exactly.
And if you go back and see, there is some angle of sport in their life. Anyone that you see, whether it's school level or college level, doesn't matter, or at home.
Yes.
I think it just builds confident people. And so that's my background. After that, I went and did my MBA from Symbiosis Pune. And then I got my campus placements into HSBC Bank. So I was a banker for 6 years. I did pretty well. I was actually one of the youngest vice presidents of the retail banking. But then every year I used to think, na inta madiyandula, I'm just only making rich people richer. Even if I'm not there, they can find someone who can help them. And I always wondered, this conversations, even at that point of time, that time was 2012 Olympics was going on. And ellaru talking about India doesn't have the talent. India cannot do it. Nangada pakka illa. Nangada makka achak talent illa. Olympics popakku. And that conversation really bothered me. I was like, how can they say we don't have talent? We are such a large population. Talent cannot be the problem. I'm sure there are other things that are a problem, but talent cannot be a problem. Then I started looking for ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲು, what can I do, can I join a federation, can I join a team, what can I do to be part of this movement. And very fortunately that time I met the trustees of my foundation, Go Sports, Nandan Kamath, who's also a former Rhodes Scholar and a lawyer, and has this vision for Indian sport. So I kind of joined him and the team of trustees of Abhishek and Mr. Ulipalli. And it was 13 years. I had a chance to grow the organization. I had a chance to, I only wanted to be part of one Olympic journey, but very fortunately, we had a chance to be part of 70 Olympians and Paralympians in the last 17 years. And it's been a dream come true to actually work with talented athletes and take them right up to the Olympics and Paralympics. So I feel very blessed and fortunate to have had.
We feel so proud of you when you said all these things.
Thank you.
So I was going through your profile. Somewhere you're working as a corporate, and after that, what actually led this transformation? You told that Alili we cannot do in Olympics in Anira, but still we should have that power also, confidence also within us that yes, I can do something. What brought you that confidence?
I think my bosses and my family, obviously. Initially, I in fact put my papers 3 times. I had to resign 3 times. They didn't accept my resignation. They're like, "Nee volunteering poit ba, nee weekends le poit made, idu made." And then I was like, that's not going to help, right? You can't volunteer. It's a big cause to pick up. But fortunately, one of my bosses sat me down, was the head of our wealth management team. I was in the wealth management team. So he sat me down and said, okay, fine, if you're so clear about doing this, go take a year. If it doesn't work out, come back.
Oh, nice.
So I think that was a big confidence booster. And thanks to our education qualifications and our MBA and all of that, it was a big decision, because I was moving from a really high-paying, high-profile job into an organization where I'm the third person, and we were just starting off our journey at that point of time. And I had to take a salary cut and lots of different changes at that time. But I think huge credit to my family and all my supporters, mentors at that point of time. But your inner strength and courage,
that is what will be required.
I think somewhere, because of sport, you just know if you fail, you'll have to find a way.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that comes very naturally, I think, for our community also, because if you see our people, they're all in the forces, they're playing sport. You need to have courage. Nangak, I think one of the biggest USPs, Kodava's USPs, according to me, is courage.
Courage, exactly.
So it's not just in your work, but just to face life. I
We
think
don't.
as a Kodava, I have the courage.
It's in blood, no,
It's in the
we
blood.
don't fear for anything. We
Yeah.
are ready to face anything.
And if you fail, you fail. You'll
Exactly.
tomorrow is a new day, and you figure it out.
Exactly. So very well said. In that topic, we were speaking in specific to Kodagu and sports. So when it comes to Kodagu and sports, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅನ್ನೋ ಇಂತ ಕೊಡವಕ್ಕೂ ಆರ್ಮಿಗೂ ஒரு close connection ಅದು bloodಲೇ ಇಪ್ಪಾಂದು. And of late we have seen that even sports also is in blood. Every Kodava family, every individual you speak, they'll excel in either of the sports or games. So what do you say about it?
No, absolutely. I think in such a uh, among such a small community, we have more than, I think, 1,000 athletes who have won state, prizes and awards over the years. We've had Olympians. We've had people who've actually gone to Asian Games. We've had, and so many people, right from Ashwini Nachappa to all our hockey players. Now you have Ashwini Ponnappa, you have Joshna, you have Rohan Bopanna. We have Bhavani, who's also doing part of Winter Olympics. So unique. So I think the talent is immense. Kodugule, I think, like I said, there is no shortage of talent in India. There is definitely no shortage in Kodagu and from our people. It's about a pathway create ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ is very important. ನಾನು district level inja, state level kenene popo, state level inja, national level kenene popo, and then how do I then from national to international is the biggest jump. And mostly athletes drop out over there. That's what we have seen in our experience, that somehow they manage, parents push, they get funding, they do something and they reach the national level. But transitioning from a junior athlete to a senior athlete is the toughest. Exactly. And there is no guarantee in elite sport or data stat under that out of 100 people who play, only 3% will make it in the elite sport. So which means your remaining 97 people don't make it. Right?
Somewhere they get lost in that journey.
They get lost. Someone will say, how will you live your life? What about your livelihood? Iದೇ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಉಂಡೆಂಗಿ ನೀ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡುವ.
Most of the Nangada generation parents had that mindset. What will you do? Academics, you have to get well in academics. That is a future. You have to get. But somewhere now our parents, this generation parents understand and they give equal importance to sports.
Yeah. I think it is wrong to say very sports marching Madi. I think it is important to have education as well, because you do well, I feel personally, in sport if you're also an educated athlete. We've seen that because you're able to understand concepts, apply concepts, and most of our athletes, if you see from coorg, are all studying, and they're in sports hostels, and they go to school, and their parents are educated, so nobody usually drops out. But today, there are so many options. If you are an athlete in today's time, open schooling under, your schools are allowing you to come
Offline
back and write
schools,
exams,
online schools.
So many options today. So if you're a really talented athlete, you cannot say the system is not supporting it. Even if you are a good talented athlete, you have Khelo India, you have I also sit on something called as the Target Olympic Podium Scheme, which is the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports under committee Nanula, where we support the top medal probables of the country. From that, they have these junior programs and all of that. So we are seeing the change happen. But for Kodavas and for Kodagu, I think there is a lot we can do. Exactly. And I personally feel there is a lot of gaps to be filled in sport.
That was my very next question. So I was going through your profile. ನಿങ്ങളുടെ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕೊಡಗು, ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಡಗರ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತುಳಿರಾ. ಸೊ ಬ್ರೀಫಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ನಿಂಗೆ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ತುಳಿರಾ ಫಾರ್ ಕೊಡಗು, ಆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕೊಡಗು ಆನ್ ದ ಕೊಡಗು ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದು.
I won't take credit as a researcher, but just as somebody who's, who loves the region and, believes that there's a lot of talent. I feel in the last 10-15 years, bari tournaments ayinundi.
Exactly.
Elli nochingi cricket tournament, hockey tournament, tournament, our tournament, but everybody is trying to get sponsorship and run the tournament.
Exactly.
What I don't see is our tournament in charge, the talent. Sorry, I do too many Hindi conversations. Hindi from where you pick up the talent. And suppose in our hockey festivals, I know that scouts come and sit there and they pick up really talented hockey players and take them into sports hostel and all of that. So it becomes a lovely place to find new talent. But others events, I don't think that's happening. And I just feel for a community that has contributed so much to Indian sport, we not having a good world-class stadium, even a hockey stadium, right? Which is every year we can use one field, one system. Every year, depending on, I don't know how many people will agree with me or
Even
not.
I had the same question.
But it depends on the influence and the network of the family on how big the festival can be and how much mileage can you build on that festival. I don't think now that it's a world record event, nobody in the world conducts a hockey festival. We
With
are
so many families.
unique. We're so unique. So how do you take that and make it a Kodava's event? Rather, the families can run it. I love the concept, and in fact, I was part of a 4-member team, a crew that actually made a film called Hockey in My Blood. It was made by Sandhya Kumar. She's a national award-winning director, and she had come for Rohan Bopanna's wedding. And we were having a conversation, and she said, my next project, I want to do something with sport and culture. I was like, then you must come to the Kodava Hockey Festival. There's nothing in the world like that. 30,000 people are cheering for you. It happens for 1 month. People from everywhere come.
It's a festival.
She's like, really? That happens? And so many people in Bangalore don't know about the hockey festival happening from so long. So then she was very intrigued by the concept, and she said, okay, let's make this film. Fortunately at that time, my uncle Ballachanda and Papa were kind enough to speak to Kuttani uncle, and I was able to explain the concept, and he's like, oh, very good, anything that documents the film, let's, this movement, let's do it. And we crowdfunded for this film. Many Kodavas and many non-Kodavas actually funded this film, and it's part of legacy, right? So I think that is my contribution, I feel, to kind of document what happens in Kodava. We obviously followed the Madanda family that time. Very consciously tried not to make it about the Ballachanda family. So, because it was not about our family. It is about whichever family is hosting. And I think it was beautiful because that type of camaraderie, that type of love for the sport, that type of, men, women, old people, youngsters of all generations coming and cheering. I mean, I see a lot of sport. I've been to 3 Olympics. I've had the good fortune of seeing a lot of other sport, but something about our Kodava Hockey Festival is magical. And I think we really need to get it to the next level, which means have our own setup, have our own high performance center, have our own environment where our children can train there, get access to sports science, get access to physios, all the latest technology, instead of different people organizing different tournaments. My idea, and I'm going to use your brilliant platform to actually see if anybody is open to coming on board, is actually can we start a Kodava Sports Foundation?
Even I had the same thought.
Oh, great.
The very first time I was looking for people who could discuss on this, because we run a lot of sports. I was, in fact, I was speaking to couple of seniors, and we have a right conversation. The very next day, they don't turn up. Okay, and that disappointed me. And after that, I felt maybe this is not possible. We need some like-minded people who would actually come us and say, yes, we can do it. Let's go. So we run a lot of sports and tournaments in Kodagu, and in fact in Bangalore as well, which will be part of Kodava associations and all these. But there is no coorg sports association or something which can track of all, which can have a track. So I felt this is really, we are lacking in this. Somewhere if the system is corrected, maybe as you said, we can reach the world-class level of sports, and we can set as an example for other communities as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So that was my, in fact, I had that was my question as well.
No, so I actually want to do it because I have had the chance to build an organization. I've had a chance to see how to get CSR funds. See, even for our hockey festival, every time we go to a sponsor, they'll give you only one time. But if you want to create a long-term plan, then you should have a program that runs for 3 to 5 to 7 years, right? A brand will write a one-time check. That is an event that cannot become CSR. So for us to build that, we need a proper structure, a program, a foundation.
Exactly.
In fact, I spoke to many of the families organizing it, and I don't blame them because they're all in the midst of organizing it, right? So you can't think of how to do it. So one of the things I want to attempt to do is actually call the last 5 years organizers and the next 3-year organizers, get them all in one place, understand what the challenges have been, understand what is the thing, because it is the festival of coorg.
Exactly.
So I feel we have to kind of create that IP for the Kodavas, and different families can run it. But as coorg, can we contribute something? I feel this every year we do it at a different venue, and we are spending so much money on
Only
the venue cost, setting up all the I mean, I don't want to get into who and what who does it. Everyone knows that, but we are actually spending on putting all these systems every year unnecessarily.
Yes,
if we have our own space, I think that will be great. And there is some great conversations that have already started. I think huge credit to also people in the past, and now Maharaja Yaduvir has also gone and invited the Honorable Sports Minister, Mr. Mansukh Mandavia, was there in in
the recent hockey
festival as well, and he was there at the recent hockey festival, and then Mr. Ponnanna, and all of them who want to see what's best for coorg and for hockey and for coorg, sport in coorg, I would say, not just hockey, because we are good in multiple sports, not just one sport. So my dream is
exactly.
so yes, then we'll use you and your platform to kind of
I don't know even if people accept my suggestion or not. There are a lot of organization. In fact, it might be an indirect proposal to you as well. As you said, the infrastructure every year we conduct in different venues. Rather than that, at least we can target of one stadium in the north and one stadium towards south. With the tournaments can be split into two stadiums. For the north ones, whoever are nearby to that locality, they can use the north somewhere in Madikeri, and the south ones can somewhere in Virajpet or Gonikoppa. If they keep that as a center and do a stadium, probably that will help. And every year we spend crores of money in just the infrastructure. Every year the same thing repeats. We go ask for the sponsors and we get something from the government. We utilize in just building it, and the very next month after the tournament it is gone. So that funds, maybe if we can try, and we need someone who can take this projects actively and run this. And for all those, as you said, we need a coorg sports association.
So we need a foundation, we need a structure, because see, anybody who gives money, even when we write to a charity, what are we looking for? We're looking at governance.
Exactly.
We're looking at how the money is being spent and who is the beneficiary. And that I've learned from my banking experience and my social impact experience, right? That even if it is 100 rupees, it's important to give a report, it's important to document, and you have to tell how we are going to spend it. So I don't think money and CSR is a concern today. It is where am I putting it, and what
How
is the
we are
vision?
doing.
What is the vision and the implementation? Right? I think there are lots of talented people in coorg who have the vision, who have the implementation capability. But I think bringing both worlds together is something that I'm very excited to pick up, and with the right platforms, with the right people and networks in coorg,
We have a lot of sportsmen, in fact,
yeah,
in that background.
everyone can come in and actually help us. And lots of Kodavas, in fact, my cousins in the US, they have such a big association there which is funding coorg hockey over there. I'm like, our hockey is happening here. Please help us here. But the same point comes back, but which is the entity that I have to support? Right? Because again, if you're getting funds from outside India, then you need your FCRAs, you need your, there's a lot of compliance and other taxation aspects that are important. And I don't want to get into the technical aspects of it, but I think there is huge potential, and I think the Kodavas are opening their mind to different options. I think it was beautiful that every family took so much of their time, effort, energy to put together a world-class event. So huge credit, I think, to everybody who was part of it so far. But they always say what got you here won't get you there.
Exactly.
So
and it's not a cakewalk also.
Yeah, very
it needs a lot of planning, probably if a committee is set or anything. I'm sitting in
Definitely.
front of a right person today. Maybe these are my dreams. I was writing all these years. It was just writing in the diary. Probably I should say thanks to Vikram as well for introducing you to me. Probably that will help us.
He's been so lovely and kind and introduced me to so many wonderful people, but I have never met him. For some reason,
I keep meeting him in an events. In some events, I keep meeting him. Somewhere, he introduced me, in fact, and
he's been lovely, and he's been also such a great warrior, I would say, for promoting the culture and sport.
The way he promotes our Kodava Makka is thanks to you. And one more question. All these while I have a lot of question on sports, but a quick one is throughout the year, round the clock, ತುಂಬಾ events ಆಯಂದಿಪ್ಪ. Probably our events, if we would have tracked it, we would have hit multiple records, because such a small community, in a month if you calculate, there in an average in a month 4 to 5 events for sure. Different. It is not only hockey, it can be tug of war, it can be cricket, volleyball, throwball,
leagues also
some leagues and what not in Kodagu. So what is lacking? Why are we not getting that recognition records in place?
I won't say recognition. I think it's everything needs a system and needs a proper plan. So do we have a annual Kodava sporting calendar, so that everybody knows what events are happening
every year?
Who can participate in that? Is it for the junior level or senior level, or is it a masters event? That entire planning as
calendar is not there.
Yes, I mean, may be there. I'm sure someone.
No, I tried checking with multiple people. So far, I have not got it. And after that, it is Kodavame who's trying to have a record. But again, here and there, if it is published in social media, it will be reported by, recorded by them manually. But apart from that, I don't find someone going and registering to some organization or some committee saying these are the list of events.
So I think one of the first things we can actually do, and people have been listening to your platform for quite some time now, and whoever's interested or whoever has any sort of ideas, maybe we can get a group running together, and
probably under your leadership, maybe.
I'd love to do it, because I feel
the sports
this is important. We have the talent, we have the intention, because most places you may have the money, but there's no intent and no talent. We have talent and intent, and I'm sure money will come. so I'm happy to create that group. I feel Nangaku, if we get some system and structure and someone to lead it, so many people now from global Kodavas, all of them talking about what can we do, how can we help. I find, I don't know if it's because of your age now, or generally people are more connected on social media about about our land. People are talking about, you've been covering and your platform have been covering cultural part of coorg, history on coorg. It is so beautiful, so many things we didn't know, which we got to know only because of all the conversations and all the publications and stuff that you'll have done. So I personally feel there is a lot of opportunity for sport, uh, but it's also important because a lot of people played sport in the past for two things: either they would get a job
Exactly.
in a bank or in the
Recommendations.
railways. There's a livelihood that gets created, or they get into the forces. So I think it's still important for any parent that what can my child do along with sport. So my only request is to kind of look at sport not as medals, but just for how it develops your personality, how confident young boys and girls can become. There is a study actually of Fortune 500 companies which says that 80 or 85% of women in leadership in real C-suite roles have played sport growing up.
Exactly.
So there is so much of connection to your growth, overall growth, your development. So
And
yeah,
mental peace as well, and
yeah, you
discipline,
stay out of drugs, you stay out of crime, you live a healthy life, you're disciplined, you
and
have
the
routines.
routines.
We
Exactly.
said it together, yeah. Your routines. I think sport is a great leveler. It solves a lot of different things. It keeps you competitive. And in the world of technology and AI, and where you're not even using your brains in many things,
Exactly.
at least in sport, you have to go and actually move and play and score that basket or
Use
hit
your
the
brains
goal.
for the
You
strategy
have to
there.
strategize, right? What other thing are you,
Exactly.
other than the arts, and dance and cultures and sport? Everything else is now we do tick 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 madite. Everything comes in 2 minutes. Your presentations are ready. You don't need to do anything. So I feel sport is valuable just for just humankind, not just our region, but humankind, and we have an advantage
Being in this
being
community.
in this community.
Yeah. And the repeated question again, round the clock, every month, every day, we have a lot of tournaments. Do you think that those tournaments are benefiting our sportsmen in Kodagu? Because Ella Makka, every family, they'll have a hockey player, cricket player, tug of war, throw ball, volleyball, every family has. But Atanda achievements not saying they limit themselves to that tournament and they don't come out of it. Is just within that boundary of family tournaments and this. Is it that they're not getting that recognition or we are not pushing them out of that boundary? What do you feel?
I think it's a combination. Every family wants to win that tournament. So if I know I have somebody who's very good, I'm going to pull them and come for the tournament. But we must also understand that our athletes and players who are playing at state level and national level, அங்கக்கு leave எடுத்துண்டு பந்த் கழிப்புக்கு is actually a big
Big
problem for
problem.
them. So you're taking them away from something for this. So unless we have scouts, unless we have this as part of the talent development competition calendar, that illi bantu someone from Sports Authority of India will pick up this talent and they're at least getting an opportunity to be part of it. I think it's tough. Too many tournaments.
Exactly.
If it's being done from an element of fun for the community to get together, that's fine. But I think the amount of money and sponsorship that we're raising, probably that is a mismatch.
Mismatch.
Can that money be used for some of, so many times nangaku WhatsApp le we keep getting messages, this Kodwa child is doing really well, badminton le, you have Dia doing really well, you have Bhavani doing really well, you have so many of them, and parents are really struggling because sport is very expensive. Sport le,
They are
you
coaching their
yeah,
regular.
you have to play tournaments. See, in many of the sports, because India doesn't have too many competitions, you have to go to Asia or European countries. Now if you want to go to Asia, even just one person traveling is about a lakh and a half minimum just for one tournament. And if you're a minor, then you'll travel with your mummy, daddy, someone will travel with you, then just add 2 lakhs there. Then you have to go stay, you have to, your accommodation, your food. So it's not easy to bring up a sports child as well. So which is where our organization used to actually give out sports scholarships. So that's what Go Sports does. We give out about 200 odd sports scholarships every year. So athletes apply for it because we understand how difficult it is for parents to kind of put that money. Even if you're from a middle class family, putting aside 15, 20, 25 lakhs a year for your child, and that is needed. Exactly. So I'm saying if we as the Kodava community have this foundation, and anybody who applies to us, we can follow not a similar process, but create what is an ideal process for our, children, and see who deserves the support. Have a committee for that. Have a proper system. Have a transparent system on selection. Then we can support so many of our children in the state level, national level to get to the Olympics. I'm pretty confident that,
exactly,
in hockey again, after so many years, we finally found someone back in the Indian hockey team, because there's never been a time where we've not had someone from coorg in our hockey teams. And the last, I think 2 or 3 Olympic cycles, we've not had at all, which is such a dip from where, all our champions are from coorg. So yeah, I think there is a lot to do. I'm not going to suggest you don't do the tournaments, but I think it's important to rank who the tournament is for.
And the set of protocols
and
as
the
well.
protocols, and like if a group of people in the family are organizing it and somebody else who is not competitive wants to play, that's fine. But if you're spending that kind of money, can you say 5 kids from this region will get the support? Even if it is 25,000 or 1 lakh support for them from your sponsorship, can we build in some of these schemes into our tournaments and stuff, so that
will help our
will help some of the kids in that sport.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can we at least encourage them?
Exactly. And when we say about sports, it's not only hockey. Ika Kodava, as I said, hockey, cricket, throw ball, volleyball, kabaddi also is there, tug of war is also there. So
these are all competitions.
Yeah, tournaments that happen.
Okay. I didn't know tug of war.
Tug of war is also there, and it have created a record this year. And Deepthi, continuing a discussion again on the Kodagu sports. So there'll be a lot of events, nanakle and nanake back-to-back events in a month, at least minimum of 4 or 5 different tournaments. So our tournaments outcome nanga kadu kittiyanunda, are we getting it? Are the sportsmen really getting that benefit of running those tournaments, or the organizers are just conducting the tournaments for the sake of conducting, or adu enna maybe ಸುಮಾರು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಟಿನುಳಕ್ಕೆ ಚೆಡಿ ಬಪ್ಪ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೇಟಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್. ಅತ್ತಂಜ ಹೆಚ್ಚಕ್ಕೆ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಯನುಂಡು ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್.
I think Toisi Nangak, we have to be very clear on what is the kind of sport we are conducting. To build culture of sport, recreation sport is very important, and many times local competitions, tournaments, adiyella recreational sports are under our vertical under Bappa. And typically it's usually friends and family, and some people they'll give you some money and they will run it, and a lot of tournaments in coorg, I feel, and based on also what you've shared, probably happens in that bracket. And if that family has 1 or 2 really good players, Angala invite madittu, come from Bangalore, come from Chennai, come from Bombay, and come and play the tournament in the finals, and but that's not a structured talent development pipeline, right? So there are 2 parts. One is playing sport because it helps the community. It's a lot of other benefits on it gets us together. Who's in your family. So many people don't meet only for so many years, right? So at least thanks to sport, we're coming together and coming and meeting our family people. But how do we use the multiple tournaments that are happening to help our young talented athletes to move forward and support them to go ahead in their sport, I think one way of doing it is, we spoke a little earlier about creating this foundation and then identifying who are all our children, and all our athletes in the junior level, emerging level, elite level, which all sports, how many of them, what is the database of our Kodava athletes, first of all, right? Suddenly when they do well, we get to know about them. But till then, nobody knows them, nobody is funding them, it's a struggle of the parents and their own family. So, two options is if each of these tournaments, and it's a request and a suggestion, again, using your platform to say that if you all are conducting these competitions, then it will be great if every tournament conducted in Coorg can set aside, say, 5 lakhs or 2 lakhs, depending on your budgets. If you have more, 10 lakhs for the talent development pipeline pool, which we can create, so that every tournament you're building for community, you're building for other people, but at least 5 lakhs comes into this pool, so that any of our youngsters who are struggling to go for a competition, who get injured, who need a surgery, who need new equipment, who need to get a nutritionist or a dietitian, or anybody who, parents also are spending a lot of money. If we, through these competitions, can create a funnel to fund this talent pool of Kodagu, I think that would be great. So let the recreation happen, let communities have fun, but through that, can we create a pathway to support our youngsters who really need the support to get to the Olympics, get to World Championships, get to Asian Games. And what I've also seen amongst our Kodava athletes is, because of our early years of training and how we live, we have a longevity in the sport. Look at Rohan Bopanna. At what age he actually went on to become world number 1. It's just the sheer resilience and the longevity. Look at Ashwini. She's, still playing badminton doubles. Look at Joshna. She's still playing. All our former athletes also had very long careers in Coorg. It means something. How do we keep that? And they also continue to need funding till you get into an Indian team, so we need to have set goals by 2030 or for 2036 Olympics. We'll have 10 athletes from Coorg in the Olympics.
Nice.
Right? We need a goal that we all work towards, and from there we need to. You suddenly have something to go and talk to.
No. I felt so happy hearing it, because all this while I'm just hearing organizing.
But it takes time to create an Olympian. It is not easy. It is very, very tough. But I do believe that now there is enough people who understand how do you nurture an athlete, nurture talent, how do you get them to their best potential, how do you use sports science, and all of that costs money. So if you're organizing your competitions, please park at least 5% or 2% of your sponsorship money, as to give into this fund. Toysi is very graciously agreed to create a set of people
interested,
who are interested in kind of building this, because I'm personally very keen to set up this foundation for Kodavas. Maybe we start with sport and then we, kind of create different verticals. We already have many people who are doing fantastic work. Maybe we partner with them, or maybe we set it up with their own organizations. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of good work already happened in Coorg. We can build on those. But sport requires a slightly different governance model. It requires different structures. It requires discipline. It requires talent identification. It requires a set of experts who can guide us. And I think we have enough athletes who've played at the highest level who will be more than happy to come and pay it forward to our own community. So why not? And not just people from our community. There'll be lots of other athletes who want to support young, talented people to get to their best potential. So let's do it. We can see how to take this forward. And but I think it's important that recreation sport is important. Families coming together is important. We're already the vanishing Kodavas. Before we fully vanish, we need to build a lot of camaraderie. We need to build a lot of. We need to lean on each other's strengths as a community. And we have so much, and I think whatever field you think about, we have someone in the community who's doing really, really well.
Exactly.
And lots of other communities, they use that very well. Somebody in some setup makes sure that everybody in that vertical does well, in that field does well. So why can't we also, we're already such a small population, can we kind of come together, work together, and encourage the
Each
existing
other.
talent and each other to just be the best versions of ourselves?
Exactly, well said. Very inspiring. And I started dreaming of that 10 years which you said.
Yeah, 2036, India has bid to host the Olympics. Just by sheer bidding, it doesn't mean we'll get the Olympics. There's a whole process, but the fact that as India we have sent in our bid to be part of it and host it, it's a big deal. We are also hosting the Commonwealth Games. So yeah, we should take some bold goals that 5 of our children or 10 of our children
Exactly.
or 20 of our children, they're part of the different teams of Team India. I think then if that structure is there, then CSR funds can come in, brands can come in, individuals who really want to support these athletes can come in, and that entity and platform will be very, very transparent. There'll be governance, there'll be reporting, there'll be, obviously we'll need people to run and manage the show as well, so you'll need a really good team to run it. But yeah, I'm very excited if we can actually do it, because if not now, when, and if not us, who? I believe in that a lot. So
Two ladies here. We met, we spoke, and we have a dream too now.
yeah, let's do
I
this.
hope it will be successful.
We should
That's
try.
what-
I mean,
yes.
we should,
Yeah.
get our hands dirty and see where
Very
it takes
true.
us.
And one more question which I have again on the existence system that we have. We have a lot of kids getting into this tournament, sports, and all these things. So what do you think before getting into a tournament? Is it that so many I've seen straight away go play? So before they get into a tournament, do we have a set of things that a person or an individual that he will need to follow? What do you feel about it? Straight away going to the tournament?
See, I think it again comes back to recreational sport and professional sport. If I'm a professional athlete, I will not just come and play any tournament. I exactly know how my calendar is. There's a concept called periodization. So when I plan for the year, like Asian Games is in a couple of months, if I'm a professional athlete, I will know that I'm between now and Asian Games, I'm only going to play 3 tournaments, and I have to peak at the Asian Games. So there can be 100 other events in between. I'll not come. And sometimes family members get angry and upset why you're not coming, right? But if you're playing professional elite sport, you can't just change your calendar and come, even though you want to be there, right? So I think it really depends. But if it's someone like us who play sport generally and there is a competition, yeah, then you go. There'll be high risk of injury, but I think you'll have to kind of manage that part. But it really depends on what level you're playing. And I would also urge that if our talented athletes are training for a big tournament, for a big event, don't try and pull them out of that for this, because sometimes they can get injured in this and then their whole year is gone. And so be really, to athletes as well, be really picky and choosy. You may upset some people for a few days, but your careers are important. You're building something in sport. You need to be there for the long term, so every single day counts. And elite sport is very tough. You have more sacrifices, you have more things that you have to let go than actually do. So I think it's very few people get to taste that world of elite sport.
Yes.
And if you have the talent to be the best in the world, don't let it go easily.
Okay. Yeah. And again, picking a word from your a recent conversation which we had, the Olympics and the Commonwealth, which might be planned in India. So, as you're part of this Kodava community, do you have any expectations that from our community there might be chances of someone getting into this?
Yeah, I think badminton, we have some really good youngsters who are doing really well. And, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have too many names, but a good 8-10 athletes are there across multiple sports who, have the chance to get to this Asian Games. And then there's LA 2028, which is going to happen. That's the Olympics. Then you have the Commonwealth Games. So it's all 4-year cycles that you have.
And what would be your contribution for this, if at all, if Commonwealth or Olympic is the year, what would be your contribution? Is it that you will be part of those committee, or how is it?
No, so currently, I was the CEO of Go Sports for the last 13 years. I mean, I did multiple roles and finished as CEO. Now I sit on the board of Go Sports. And I also sit on the Target Olympic Podium Scheme, which is a separate committee of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport. So over there, it's a very strategic governance committee.
Mm-hmm.
So our role ends at governance, and at that, I'm not actually on ground right now. When I was in Go Sports as CEO, I had the chance to work with multiple athletes. So whether it was a Deepa Karmakar or Kidambi Shrikant or Chirag Satvik or Nikat Zareen, I had a actual chance to be with them on ground and be at the Olympics and, cry, laugh, go through all the possible emotions. Which is why I said elite sport is
Not easy.
It's a roller coaster of emotions, and I loved it. But I feel like what I've learned now, I can take it to more industries. I've also set up my own new firm now.
Oh.
I've actually not announced it, but I will use this and say it's actually a cause marketing boutique called Ripple Effects.
Okay.
So basically, what I'm attempting to do is help founders and brands and social impact organizations tell their story better, scale better, and raise money as well.
Oh,
So
nice.
I've doing some work with the education space, animal welfare space,
Nice.
and sport, obviously.
Uh-huh.
So I am still setting up, but you'll hear more about it soon.
So I am sitting in front of a person I can imagine as a tree with multiple fruits.
Yeah, so I'm like, whatever I learned in sport is very relevant to all industries. It doesn't have to get restricted only to that. And what I've also noticed is, so many people for years do incredible work. Like they're really putting their hard work, energy, effort, but we're not able to scale after we get to a certain level and we stagnate over there. I want to help those founders. I want to work with those organizations. And it doesn't have to be only in the non-profit space. I'm currently working with 2 for-profit founders to scale their business as well. So yeah, I'm very excited about this new part. But sport is, like I said,
Again.
part of me, part of my blood. I can't take away sport. And I feel whatever I've learned, it is my duty to give it back wherever possible.
We wish you success and pray for your success as well.
Thank you so much.
So this question might be for the sports enthusiasts. So ingada sports or career build marondo athwa if they want to come up in sports, can you suggest few of the government schemes which might help them?
Yeah, I think Nangaka first, it's very important to see when we talk about sport, everyone thinks sport anchingi bari athletic kollo. I'm a sports administrator. I was an athlete, but after working with top Olympic athletes, Paralympic athletes, you don't really call yourself an athlete. But, you can be a sports administrator, you can be a sports physiotherapist, you can be a data analyst, you can use technology, you can do sports engineering. So, irrespective of which industry you are in, if you want to be in sport, I welcome everyone to come and follow your passion. But if you're an athlete trying to get to the next level, today there are multiple foundations giving you scholarships, you have the Khelo India scheme, you have every state sometimes also runs different scholarships and gives out certain funding for athletes, for tournaments and all of that. So keep watch out. Today Instagram and social media allows us to find schemes very easily. So track your state, local, state, federations and your associations to see what are the different kind of things that are there. And as parents, I think it's also very important to understand what you are getting into when you put your child into sport. If it's difficult for an athlete, it is very, very difficult for the parent, because you're doing your role, your career, and you are managing your child's career. So, I'd love to, also talk to parents, help them with whatever I've learned, or connect them to the right experts. I'm more than happy to talk to someone, and I'm planning to also do a lot more sessions so that
Probably
you
maybe
can,
we can arrange a workshop
Yeah,
for the
just
parents and also the sports separately.
anybody who needs any help, more than happy to do that. But track your organizations, federations, associations, states on social media, because they keep putting out a lot of information today. It's not like early years where you had no idea that scheme came out and went out and nanga apply sa maditla, because we had no idea, right? So I think today, just be a little bit more digitally aware, and I think there are enough people to guide, and I'm more than happy to guide with whatever I know.
Thank you. And we are at the end of this episode. It's very nice interacting with you. And before we close this episode, what message would you like to give our community, our parents, and sports makka?
I'll start with our sports makka first, and then maybe go to community. We are a very unique and talented bunch of people. Use it to your advantage. Go all out. I'm sure once you're at that brink of success, more people will come. But even your early years, ask, speak. We'll hopefully have a platform soon where you can reach out to us to take the support and guidance, both financially and non-financially. But remember your legacy, remember where you come from, and remember your courage for athletes.
Thank you.
I think for parents, I just said it's a tough job to be a sports parent, but one of the things, I've had the good fortune of working with Rahul Dravid and Pulela Gopichand and Abhinav Bindra, and they've all been advisors to the foundation as well, and legends of their sport. And Rahul once made a very nice comment, as a sports parent, one of the most important conversations you'll have with your children is when they've had a match and they have lost their match and the drive back home. Exactly. What is the conversation you're having with them? That defines how your child enjoys the sport or dislikes the sport, and that conversation and how you make them feel is really going to set the future trajectory for them. So keep that in mind. As parents, we sometimes can over communicate and say, I'm spending so much money, ನಾನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಇದು ಸಹ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೈಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೂರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೋಯ್ತು, you're losing. And sport is more loss than wins. So remember that, and it takes a good 10 years to really see some change.
Very true. This is, I remember my daughter was going for a badminton academy, and the coach, he said, she was put to this academy when she was in second standard. And her first victory was in somewhere in class 5th or 6th, it seems. All this year, she was going for the tournaments, but she never tasted what victory is.
And it's usually like that.
And it is the patience of our parents as well to take them. And somewhere, that's where I have observed most of the parents, they go to the tournaments, 4 or 5 tournaments to take their kids. After they lose, aapla kamba buttrna. And end of the day, it is just waste of money. So my humble request as well to the parents, if at all, if your kid is not succeeding in 4 or 5, let's take them. If at all, let's drive their passion. So
and what they'll become, what sports teaches you can't buy in 4-5 tournaments. Exactly. It's for life.
And so many sportsmen have lost their journey just because of this 4th or 5th match losing. They quit. let's not do that. So somewhere keep hearing all these emotional stories, even I get emotional. That's where I felt Kodagula ichakella sports ayanundu, let's make this as a effective platform. Somewhere in India, I can say in the world only, Kodagu is a very small place, very area wise is a very small place, and a unique community is Kodava. E community lo e sports is in blood of every Kodava. Let's utilize it. Adna utilize madoka, let's have some outcomes. To all the organizers of the tournaments, I'm just saying one request: let's drive for the outcomes. Recreation, I agree, recreation ko ikkadu, but still at least or child
Support
should see that.
one talented
It's a very emotional story which I heard from many kids. So let's do that. Nangada future support kids ra sports na support madito injatengi. I feel Kodava community ra sports will hit the world class level very soon. Let's all drive it, encouraging each other.
Yeah. And I think lastly, just to our community, I feel Nanga, many times we do everything in silos, for our family, for our set of people. We're already a very, very small community. We really need to come together and keep this cultural unique identity, and really help each other and support each other in whatever possible way, because we really don't want to be vanished from this place. And there are also so many other factors, on our population and on all the different things that are happening. So I think it's important that we kind of move this movement in a manner that we protect the cultural identity, we protect the community, what our ancestors have taught us. We're one of the most, like Toysi said, the most unique communities who understand sport, who've been in the forces. Look at all the data points of how many champions we've created, how many of our people in the forces have won some of the most prestigious medals, from the highest levels as well. So we have it in us. So I think if we work together and stay together, we'll just keep flourishing.
Very true. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for your time. ಸೊ ಇಂದತ್ರ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ನಿಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಮಾಡಿವಿ. ಇಂದತ್ರ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ಪ ಕೊಂಚಂ ಇನ್ನ ಪೊನ್ ತಕ್ನ ನೋಟೇನುಳ್ಳ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯೂವರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನಡ ಮನದುಂಬನ ನಲ್ಲಾಮೆ ಅಣ್ಯವಿ ತುಂಬ ಚಾಯ್ತ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿನುಳ್ಳಿರ ನಿಂಗಡ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ 1-to-1 ಮೆಸೇಜಸ್ ಆಡು, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬಿಲ್ ಮೆಸೇಜಸ್ ಆಡು, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮಿಲ್ ಮೆಸೇಜಸ್ ಆಡು, ನಿಂಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿನುಳ್ಳಿರ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ವೇ ಈ ಜರ್ನಿ ಮಿಂಜಕ್ ಪೋಯನುಂಡು. ಅನ್ನನೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತಪ್ಪು ಕಂಡಕ ತಿದ್ದಿಯಂಡು ನಿಂಗಡ ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಂತ ಉಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಯಂಡು, ಅಥವಾ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬೆಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಪೋಪಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಂಗಡ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ಸು ನಂಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಂದು ಅಣ್ಣಿಯಂಡು. ಇಂದತ್ರ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ನಿಂಗೆ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತಿಕ್ಕು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಮಾಡ್ಯವಿ. ಅನ್ನನೆ ಈ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ನಿಂಗೆ ಎಂತಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಡು ನನ್ನಕ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಇನ್ ನಿಂಗಡ ಮೆಸೇಜಸ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಲು ಇಟ್ಟಿತೀರಿ. ಅನ್ನನೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ನಂಚಂಗೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಎನಿ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನನೆ ಅಣ್ಣಿಯಂಡು ಇಂದತ್ರ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ನ ನಂಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿಯೋಣ ನಲ್ಲಾಮೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ದೀಪ್ತಿ.
Thank you so much.